information I wasn't referring. All right, so like I said, today, what I've done essentially is I've taken a look at what the homework is today and tried to create problems with similar instructions so you know exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing with the homework. And like I said, for the most part, it's much less proofy. It's more of the short answers, the type that you were trying to get away with for the homework the other night from Friday and Saturday, or Friday and Tuesday. So again, decide whether enough information is given to prove that triangles are congruent. If so, state the shortcut you could use. Do not need to write a proof. Just go ahead and do that. So in this case, is there enough information? And the shortcut would be side, angle, side. And we might even want to write a triangle congruent statement, like triangle AEB is congruent to triangle what? BDC by side, angle, side. All right? And yeah, here that's all that's expected. I don't expect a full proof because everything's given. There's nothing here to prove. All right? How about here? Is there enough information to prove the triangles are congruent? Tell you what. Let's actually use the marks as givens and write a proof, because instead of just guessing it, let's actually do the whole thing. Because a lot of times it's a good strategy, especially if you're not sure. Because you're going to do it in your mind anyway if you're just looking at the picture. We might as well write it out and get the benefit of that process. Using the marks as givens, what do we start with? Well, let's start with a simple given. Wx is congruent to yz. That's given. We also have Wx is parallel to yz. Given. Now, I only have one pair of congruent parts so far, that side. And my only other given is the parallel. So what can I conclude based on parallel lines? If I have parallel lines, what parts of triangles can I conclude are congruent? Yeah. Angles. And how am I going to do that? What letter am I going to draw somewhere up there to find those angles? A Z. All right, I'm not going to use that color because I used red there. Here are my parallel lines. Here's my transversal. What type of angle pair do we have there? Alternate interior. So I name them. Angle WXZ is congruent to angle YZX because we just said they're alternate interior angles. And we add the word theorem to it because we're showing that the angles are congruent. We aren't showing the lines are parallel. If we're showing lines of parallel, we'd say postulate, or converse, excuse me. All right, so now I have one part congruent, that's a side. I have another pair of parts congruent, that's an angle. What is the third piece I'm going to need? I only have two pieces for my shortcut so far. The shared side. So XZ is congruent to XZ. You could say XZZX, it doesn't matter. Reason? Reflexive. So therefore, that's another side. Do we have enough for side, angle, side now? Yeah, I do, because the included angle, side, included angle, side. So triangle YZX congruent to triangle. Y corresponds to W. Z here corresponds to X here. And Z corresponds to X the other way. And side, angle, side. So again, looking at the picture and just going SAS, ASA, AAS, whatever it is, is very different from actually writing it out and explaining how you know. And really, for a lot of these problems, I'm much more interested in the how you know. Not just that you know, but how you know. So when I come back to a problem like this, and I write side angle side, what I should really be doing is doing this process, at least in my head. How do I know that's true? How do I know that that corresponding side is true? How do I know the corresponding angles are true? No, you can't go fill your water bottle right now. All right? How do I know that? That's the question we've got to keep asking ourselves. Not what do I know, but why do I know that? What justifies that? This is going to be interesting problems. You're going to have some problems like this. Is there enough information to justify the statement triangle DOG is congruent to triangle CAT? And notice there's just information given, but I don't know if it's enough information or not. How am I going to know if it's enough information? I'm going to have to draw a picture, aren't I? And I'm going to make the triangle similar enough so it looks like they're, I'm even go DOGCAT. I don't know if they're right angles or not. I can't say that's a right angle. I'm just setting it up. All right? I'm just setting it up. And then I'll mark in the information I know. Angle D is congruent to angle C. Angle O is congruent to angle A. And DG is congruent to CT. Is that enough to prove those triangles are congruent? See, when I go from just a description to a picture, suddenly there's a world of difference in my understanding. So for problems like this, you are going to have to draw pictures. Is that enough to prove triangles are congruent? Yes or no? Yes, what reason? Angle, angle, side. Because the side is off to the side it's not between. How about in this case? Again, I'm just going to draw my two triangles. I don't know if they're right, but I'm just trying to draw them nice and similarly oriented. So DOGCAT. And I'm given DG is congruent to CT, DO is congruent to CA, and angle T is congruent to angle G. Do I have congruent triangles? No? Why not? It spells a bad word. It's an angle side side, isn't it? So not congruent. So this one is angle angle side. This one is nothing. Not congruent. All right? Yes?
But, like, if it has the same thing as that happens.
Because I have two sides. Here I have two angles in the side. Here I have two sides and an angle. The angle is not the angle between the two sides, is it? That would be not congruent then. Angle side side does not work. Side angle side does. Angle side side does not work. All right, what additional information would you need to prove the triangles are congruent using, and I've got all these different choices down here. So I'm going to name the vertices here. Let's call them car and bus. Okay, car and bus. So I want to use angle, angle, side. And I'm given angle S congruent to angle R and CR congruent to BS. What additional information would I need to use angle, angle, side? Yeah.
The angle is congruent to angle U?
Yeah. If I knew that, that's my answer. That is my answer. That's the additional information I would need. All right, what if instead of using angle, angle, side, I wanted to use side, angle, side? Now what additional information would I use? Which ones? Okay, so how would I write that down? What information would I need?
Well, you have to put, like,
Segment.
AR, congruent, US.
There we go. All right, so that's the additional information I'd need. So again, these problems really require you to draw pictures to understand fully what's going on, because I might have just said, without a picture, to prove triangle CAR congruent to triangle BUS without a picture. You need to draw the picture. Geometry is all about the picture all the time. We keep working with the picture. You keep wanting to deal with the picture. We're going to be doing stuff like this tonight. Most of it is not proof. Most of this tonight is shorter stuff. Tomorrow we're going to have a review sheet. Review sheet. And we'll be getting ready for the test using that, and then Friday is our next benchmark ready. So it's going to be a very, very busy end of the week. Yes. Just a minute, you'll be fine. You're not going to die if you have to wait between classes to refill your water bottle. It's only 5 minutes. All right? So that's the kind of stuff you're going to see in the homework tonight. And yes, do not be surprised. We have homework tonight. Shocking. All right. So 243 and 252. Two sections we're working on. Review worksheet tomorrow, then D2. On Friday, we have our first vocab in a while coming up on Friday as well. A little bit of vocab next week. We're still working with triangles quite a bit throughout this unit. So more and more triangle stuff.